and welcome to our weekly Curriculum Connections video. My name is Lucy Larkin and I'm the co-leader of Year 1 with Paul Fox-Cannell. Our details are on the screen if you need to get in touch with us about anything at all. This video is for next week, which is the week commencing the 4th of May, and it is our ITAP week 2. So it is the second week where the trainees are with us for a few days and then in school for a few days. So I'm just going to take you through the week. We've currently got them in with us for ITAP week 1, and it's just great to see how many of them are really enjoying their placements. They've got a great start, so thank you so much to all of our school staff. Here's a reminder of where you can find the key documentation. This link is in the email which we've sent out the video for, and it's got everything you need there, such as lesson observation forms, the ITAP booklet in case you want to have a more detailed look at what trainees are doing this week and last week, as well as any other information you may require. So this week, our ITAP week is all about behaviour management. So last week we took a deep dive into professional behaviours. This week is focusing on that learning environment, the behaviour management within the learning environment. The week is structured with a nice bank holiday on the Monday, and then we have 2 days in college, which will be Tuesday and Friday, and our trainees have 2 days in school. So that'll be the Wednesday and the Thursday they'll be in school. Now, it does say that there's no teaching requirement, but we have said, if they would like to take things like story time or do a little bit of extra teaching, that's absolutely fine. But there are no requirement for any observations this week because there will be some tasks for them to carry out. Okay. In college with us on the Tuesday, trainees will be having a look at some specific reading. We will be looking at what makes an effective learning environment and building on work that we've done already throughout the course. In addition to that, they'll have some independent study time where they will be preparing for a debate, which will be happening on Friday, which will be really interesting. On Friday, we're going to be taking a look at learning behaviour policies. So we're asking that all of our trainees bring with them their school's behaviour policy and have a look at it in depth, as well as our live debates. We'll also be providing in that week PPA for our trainees. So we were aware that there's a requirement that they have half a day each week. While they're with us on ITAP weeks, there is no requirement for you to provide any PPA for them in school because they're only with you for 2 days. We'll make sure we give them on that Friday afternoon their allotted PPA time so that as long as they have had time to sort of flesh out with you in school what it is they're going to be teaching, they'll have time to plan that. They have access to their college mentors, they can access it over email, but there is no requirement for you to give them PPA during that week. In school, on the Wednesday and the Thursday, they've got some tasks to carry out. Now, these are flexible. Ideally, they would happen on the days that we've got them scheduled, but we know what schools are like. There's no such thing as an ideal teaching week. So when we're asking them to organise a learning walk around school with their mentor, depending on the timetable when that's available to happen, it might not be able to happen on the Wednesday, it might be the Thursday, it might even be the following week. But if that's not the case, that's okay. The trainees know that they've got an extra week to upload their ITAP booklet in case some of these tasks need pushing on a little bit or managing around schools' timetables. As well as that, we'd like them to have a discussion with their class teacher and discreetly observe a small group of pupils and think about what their learning behaviour looks like. And this is a real in-depth look. There's also a pupil voice template. Everything is in the ITAP booklet, which we would like them to record the tasks that they're doing and upload them to Abiessa. On the Thursday, they've got an observation template as well to carry out, and that is when they need to make sure they've got the copy of the school's behaviour policy to bring in. Ideally, they'll have a really firm understanding of what's on paper, but also what that looks like in practice in your school so that we can dig into the reasons for that, how that's effective. Lead mentors, hopefully you've had a chance to connect with school mentors and that relationship's been established. If there's any trouble on either side, if anybody's struggling to get in touch with anybody or anything at all, you can get in touch with Paul, myself, or even the TPO team, and we can support facilitating that. If you are requiring us to come in a little bit earlier and your lead mentor's not available, again, just get in touch and we can get that sorted for you. Lead mentors hopefully will have completed the initial impressions check, their checkpoint 1 by now. all of our trainees have completed their initial impressions check, which is fantastic. And there's just a couple of school mentors that are waiting for ABS or access and things like that. And as soon as those are done, everyone should be able to be checked off for their checkpoint 1. The next thing up and coming will be the week commencing the 11th of May or the 18th of May, which will be checkpoint 2, and that's when our lead mentors will be coming out to school and doing an in-person visit. You might have already had them visit already, because sometimes we like to do a touch base, introduce ourselves, coming in person. We really want to work around the school's timetable, but that is when you will be having them contact you to say, when can we come and observe a lesson with you and do some of that joint feedback. Lead mentors, just another thing to be aware, by the end of this week, your trainees should have uploaded 4 weekly reflections. So the induction week, week 1, and then 2 for the 2 ITAPS weeks. So there should be 4 weekly reflections, 1 lesson plan, and 1 lesson observation, as well as the initial impressions check. So if there's any issues with that, please do get in touch with the trainee, or you can come and speak to us. I just thought it was worth mentioning here the core competencies. For some of you, it might be the first time working with the Leeds Trinity validated course, and instead of referencing the teaching standards when we observe our trainees or support them with targets, we use the core competencies. They're very closely linked to the teaching standards, but we just find that the language breaks it down a little bit further and gives them a reachable benchmark. So if you have a look in the school directed task booklet or on the Moodle page, there's a breakdown of all those core competencies, and it just gives us that common understanding of that those benchmarks and what language. So we'd like our trainees to use that language in their weekly reflections, for you to give feedback using that language and to support in target setting as well. One last thing I thought I'd include this week is the frequently asked questions. We have our coffee and a catch up on a Wednesday, and we've had some really good attendance, some really great questions from our trainees. We've just put a little bit of a roundup together. People asked around CPD, what that should look like. So that is the time when, arranged with school mentors, what's the best time to do that, when they can go out and observe other teachers or carry out any other directed tasks. Lots of questions about SATS week. Good luck, everybody. SATS week, there might be some flexibility needed here. If there are directed tasks that cannot be completed, that is absolutely fine. They can be pushed on to the next week or done in advance. It might be that there's a little bit of flexibility, but we just ask that trainees communicate with their lead mentor in college, who can help advise them on the best way to do that to get the best experience. We have had quite a few questions about whether trainees should attend school staff meetings, CPD meetings, key stage meetings. We advise yes. We want our trainees to have the best experience of what it's like to be a real teacher, including staff meetings. We know there'll be some where there's confidential information being shared or things that perhaps are not appropriate for them. So that is fine for you to say, oh, yeah, don't come to this one. But overall, we'd like them to attend as many school staff meetings as possible. And just a reminder there that most of the questions can be answered, or information can be found within the documents on our school Moodle site. But please do get in touch with any questions at all. We've had some really great questions, adaptations that needed to be made, or just things that need clarifying because sometimes the wording's not exactly clear. Paul and I are here. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.